But I also think it's very telling that Ethan Page and Joe Hendry have come into NXT and have outshined everybody. And I might include Trick Williams in that conversation, which is crazy to say. Trick's fine. Not like he's doing a bad job. And I like that he has a little adversity to overcome. But Joe Hendry, outsider. Ethan Page, really only seen on Ring of Honor on a pay service for the last couple of months of his AEW run. Both have come in and made the absolute most of their time and are being pushed accordingly. Look, the ratings are nice for it. There's nothing to be mad about there. But it's very telling that those two guys came in and basically have outshined everybody else. Look, sometimes you can get ratings off of one program, one story. Like the amount of times, the Attitude Era was, everybody was really clicking all at once. There's a lot of crap on there. But Stone Cold was on those shows, and The Rock was on those shows, and they were all over those shows, which is a key. The top stars are always going to be your hook. You want to see them. If it's walking in at the beginning, if it's a promo, it's a back, you want to see them all over the show. That's why I talked about Rhea coming back. They know she's a big deal. They put her all over the show. They have a lot of trust in Chad Gable right now. Put them all over the show. Now, that's more Wyatt Six stuff, but it's also showing what Gable can do. But you put your bigger stars all over the show. It's not about, they might show up. Unless they're a special attraction, you're building up to a return, you put them all over the show. Ethan Page was all over the show last night. Got into it with Oro Mensah multiple times. He was backstage with Ava. He had a match. You saw him again. That is how you book your top people. You put them on the show in multiple places. And you have them interact with as many different people as you can, or whatever it may be. Because sometimes there is one or two draws, and that's what keeps people tuned in. And sometimes you need to keep people special and you don't see them as much. They put Joe Hendry in multiple segments intentionally. They put Ethan Page in multiple segments intentionally. These are people that can handle their minutes, that can make the most of their minutes, and that will create content beyond the show. That goes a long way too. And then I look at, the Roxanne segment, and she's talking about online, people are saying Julia and Stephanie Vaquer are going to come wipe the floor with me. And she does the whole speech how she's 22 and only two, what she's done at that age, and brings up Charlotte, and she's off by 2 years. She aged Charlotte 2 years with her debut, which Charlotte responded to very nicely. And talked about all these other talents that aren't even there yet. And then it was kind of looking past Thea Hale, which I think I've said I'm a big Thea Hale fan. But I don't think Thea Hale's beating Roxanne. And they do a segment where it's believable. And Ridge pulls her off because, you break her arm, you don't get that title shot. It was okay. I'm still not super sold on Roxanne. I think she's very one note in her promos. My question about the Ethan Page and Oro Mensah stuff is, I know Page attacked him, and that was revealed, but Oro was a heel then. Is Metaphor turning? Are they breaking them up because Noam Dar is apparently banged up? You had, Lash and Chikara, getting hit on, I guess, by Cedric and Shanti the Adonis last night. Like, little all over the place. I'm a little confused. Like, Ethan is clearly a heel, and then he shook Dante Chen's hand, and maybe that was just being, it's kind of looking down on him, but he beat him. Good for Dante to get the title shot. Even making sure he has to wrestle somebody. I'm going to wrestle somebody with pride or respect or whatever the heck he said. Ethan Page versus Oro Mensah is a TV match. It ain't a PLE match. It's hard to heat somebody up for a title match when they were a background player in their own group. And maybe there were other plans there and Noam got hurt. And I get that. That you gotta pivot sometimes. But that's not a big match to me. even if the attacks have been going on, because Aura's just not established enough for people to care about him. And then we have what's going on with Brooks Jensen. And, him and Briggs are still talking, and Briggs, stood up for him, but Briggs was out there when Brooks lost to Evans, and then Spears comes out, and he's like, it's all right, don't worry about it. And at the end of the show, they set up a match. And this is the end of NXT, is a Brooks Jensen, Josh Briggs segment outside. And we'll go no DQ. So now former, current, whatever friends are going to go no DQ. And Jensen's saying it's got to be no DQ. And he gets in a car, which I assume driven by Sean Spears. And I don't know if anybody's like, who's in the car? Well, is that his mentor? Well, he's been there a few times in WWE system, so Sean Spears knows what it is to navigate those waters. He's the mentor for Brooks Jensen. Maybe. I just want to know what the payoff is. He's interfered in title matches. He's beaten up people. He's beaten up Evans. He took him out last week and set up the match this week, and then he lost. Sean Spears came out and Briggs, and he lost, which was weird. Like, you're going to go with this guy, you shouldn't lose. Or if you're giving him this much time, he shouldn't lose. And he just loses. And I don't think anybody's pointing back to those great Brooks Jensen classics. And I'm not knocking his ability. I'm just saying he just was never given that opportunity. He wasn't presented in that way. He was never presented as some big star. He was the shucks, in love with Fallon Henley or Kiana James, I should say, guy. That was what he did. He was fine in that role. And now, what is he supposed to be? What's the payoff here? Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette.
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.